Pretty blown out behind us, but I think it's good. We're live. Oh, we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Swank Guide live stream. I don't know how this is going to go because I have never done this before. So anyway, bear with us. This is Maria. Maria lives here in Troncones, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. You guys, probably most of you know me. I'm Don. I'm the host of the Swank Guide. And for anybody who's new to the channel, the Swank Guide is all about sustainable, interesting, exotic, kind of unusual travel. So we try to find cool places to stay and cool places to go and kind of off the beaten track things to do. Today we are in Troncones, as I said. We're about 30 minutes outside of Zihuatanejo, which is kind of on the central Pacific coast here in Mexico. It is such a beautiful place. Maria lives here, and folks who have been watching the channel for a minute know that we try to get a local insider perspective wherever we go. Why do you want to hear from me? It's the first time I've been here. What do I know? Maria knows a lot. So Maria, I just want to say, just do a quick intro of kind of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Maria Fernanda. Some people call me Maria, others call me Fer. I'm a yoga teacher / designer here in Troncones.
Graphic designer
also. So I live here. I've been living here for 5 years, but visiting the area for 10 years. I'm originally from Guadalajara, and this is not the place where I was born, but I feel it like home, and I have like a very deep connection with this area, with this place, especially with the ocean. So here I am.
All right. And we have been together I've been here almost like 9 days now. So we've been traveling around. We've been in Zihuatanejo, which is down the coast. We stopped in Ixtapa for a minute. We'll talk about that. And now, like I said, we're in Troncones. We're at a hotel called Los Sereno. Thank you. My Spanish is not perfect. We're close to it. A really beautiful place right here on the beach. Wish I could show you guys around, but you're going to have to wait for the video, which is coming. So what we wanted to do today, we've got about a half hour, a little bit less than that. We're going to try to wrap it up at the bottom of the hour. Some viewers have emailed us some questions, and there are going to be questions in the chat as well. So we'll try to kind of alternate between kind of questions that have been emailed to us, stuff that comes up in the chat, and we'll do our best to kind of give you guys a good understanding of this place. Like, is this a good place to come for a holiday? And if you want to come down to this part of Mexico, like what area should you focus on? So with that said, the first question that we've got here, let me just read it real quick, is when is the best time of year to come? And I guess they mean by kind of Zihuatanejo, Troncones, this part of Mexico. So
the area or the Pacific.
Yep.
Well, in Mexico, we have, especially in the Pacific, we have the 4 seasons, like winter, spring, summer. And the best time to come to the tropical areas where it's a lot of heat is better to come from October to April.
Yep.
And the high season here in this area, in Zihuatanejo and Troncones, is from mid-October, November through April.
Yep.
Some people come for the holidays like New Year's and Christmas. And then other people come for Eastern and like spring break,
right?
And then after that, it starts getting very hot. If you like hot,
it's not hot now. It's like 90 degrees. Cool.
If you like the heat and that thing, like all good, come in any moment. But if you're not used to the heat and you want to feel like more chill, then the better to come like in the early months of the year.
Yeah, and so I've been here for 9 days. Not a drop of rain. It's super dry right now. It's still really beautiful, but I think you guys were saying we took a kayaking trip on a river yesterday. Maria was with us and another guide, Rodrigo. And I think, weren't they saying like it's so much greener in the rainy season?
Yeah, the 80%, they say 80 or 70% of the leaves of the trees fall in this dry season, and then it's super green, so it's like an explosion of green on all the area, very tropical, very.
And when it rain, when is the rainy season again? Like what?
Rainy season officially start in the middle of June, but
Yeah.
these times you
Yeah.
you don't know. But it goes more or less from June to October.
Right, June to October, and then does it rain all day, or you just get like showers?
It depends. There's some seasons when you have only rain during nights,
Right.
if we are lucky,
Yeah.
and there's other times when it's like it rained during the day.
Yeah.
It's like very green and more humidity.
Right.
Less humid than in Nayarit or
Right.
other areas in the north.
Yep.
But it's humid still.
Okay. I guess one of the other, like seasonality, obviously we're thinking about weather, but I think, a lot of folks probably want to think about like budgets. So like, when's the best time to come from a budgeting perspective? Like not Christmas, probably not January and February.
No,
right?
like that is when it's all the prices.
So you said tourism starts dying down, maybe not dying down, but fewer and fewer people starting like maybe March.
Well, I think for me, my favorite times is October.
October. Yeah.
And
not many tourists.
No, it's less, and it's like start cooling down from the heat.
Yeah.
And also like in spring, around spring, like March,
okay.
April. And the water during those days, the water start getting cooler.
Yeah.
And it's hot, but when you go to the ocean, it feels so good.
Yeah. And is March, April not too touristy either, right? And it's not raining yet.
It depends of when it's going to be Semana Santa.
Yeah.
That is, it changed from the last weeks of March and the first ones of April. But during Semana Santa is also high season. It's like a Mexican holiday.
Right, so it's more
before Easter.
Mexican travelers.
1 week before Easter
Yeah.
is Semana Santa, and that is considered high season.
Before Easter, or the week before Easter. So don't come right around Easter, maybe.
Yeah.
If you want to save some money.
Yeah.
If you want to pay top dollar for a hotel, that's a great time to go. Great. All right. So question in the chat from Susanna. How has Zihuatanejo changed over the years as tourism has grown?
A lot. So especially before pandemia, it was not that much on the scene. And then during pandemia, start growing. A lot of people stay here for more time, like more than for holidays, just to stay here to live. And obviously the word spread.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful here that people have curiosity for the area.
Yeah.
So I think that it was growing slowly, but then in the last 2 years, it was like exponentially growing. So it's something to think about, to keep the balance, to keep it like sustainable, and to keep it like in harmony with the local people and the tourism, is to consider the growing goes like in everybody's okay with that, and grows together, like not separate, but together with the tourism and the local people.
You're right. And you said something the other day that I thought was really interesting, because if you think about like during COVID, like tourism shut down, like people weren't traveling except Mexico. Right? So Mexico was one of the few places that really didn't shut its borders, and like the tourism really never stopped here. So so this was one of the few places where actually tourism was growing during the pandemic, and digital nomads that were moving here. And things like that, right?
In Mexico, even in Mexico City, they called it this like the capital city of digital nomads in the world.
Right.
But we need to be careful about these big assumptions, because then it creates maybe a little bit of imbalance. So it's just to be aware of how to mix or how to mix with the community. So it's not like separation, but harmonious growth, and that everybody's happy.
Okay, cool. Okay, question from Rudolph. I'm not sure if I should spend more time in Zihuatanejo or Ixtapa, or Ziwa, right? The locals call it Ziwa. So Ziwa, because it took me a minute to learn how to say Zihuatanejo. I have some opinions about this. Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
If you watch this channel, and I assume you do since you asked the question, I wouldn't spend a minute in Ixtapa. It is, so I'll give a little bit away. I think we visited 21, 22 hotels now, kind of looking for our top 7 or 8 hotels in this region. So, part of what we do is we go and we visit a lot of different places, and Maria was along for most of that. So I had to put up with a lot of that. But yeah, we checked out a lot of places, and we checked out 4 or 5 hotels in Ixtapa, and there was only one that I really liked. That was really outside of Ixtapa, but Ixtapa to me is kind of Las Vegas like in a way, and it's just big, impersonal hotels. The small ones are maybe 100 rooms, 150 rooms. The big ones probably 500. So it feels to me like a little bit like a cruise ship on land. It's just I didn't see a single boutique hotel, and they all felt like super impersonal and kind of crowded and like conventions. And there was one that even felt like an airport to me, which was not great. But the question, so the question is Zihua or Ixtapa, and I would change the question a little bit and say, should I spend time in Zihua or Troncones? And both are charming places. And I'm going to say I've kind of fallen in love with Troncones. It's a beautiful little surf town. People are super friendly. Lots of little cafes and shops. You can walk to a lot of different places. It's got tons of charm. The beaches are beautiful. It's not crowded at all. And there's just tons of like cool little hotels here. So I would think hard about coming up to Troncones. It's how far from the airport?
It's 45 minutes from the airport.
Simple, easy, right? And the airport here was super easy to get through, except for the fact that, never mind, I won't even go into it. I had a little bit of trouble at the airport, never mind. It's not what this is about. Well, actually, if you want to bring a drone in, be careful. Then you get taxed on it. Okay. That's my only airport tip. Otherwise, it was great. And then Zihua has its own character, and it's beautiful. It's mountainous, and then you've got the ocean. And I'm trying to think like it's got almost like a little bit of a Rio feel to me. It's definitely a lot smaller than Rio, but it's got that feeling for some reason.
Like the favelas. It seems like the favelas, the little homes in the mountains. Yeah. During night, it looks beautiful with the lights and everything. And it's like a fisherman's village, and it's growing a little bit, not as much as other parts in Mexico, like Puerto Vallarta, for example. That maybe a long time ago Puerto Vallarta have this charm that now Zihuatanejo have. With this, it's still small. You feel that it's Mexico, and it's not like very touristic like Ixtapa. It has still like authenticity, and it feels like Mexican. Like you can see the people living their regular lives, not touristy lives, but regular lives.
Yeah, so I think if you want some beach, but you want some. It's not a small town. It's not a huge city either, but it's. Do you know the population?
I'm not sure, but maybe 300,000.
300,000,
maybe. I'm not sure.
Whereas Troncones is a couple thousand,
like maybe 1,000.
Maybe 1,000.
We're lucky.
So a little bit different. It's not a small town, but like Maria was saying, like the hills sparkle at night with all the lights, and then you've got the water right there. I took a beautiful sailboat ride. There are some really nice hotels, so you can kind of have beach and city together. So that can be really fun. And obviously we're gonna make videos about it, so you can see like what to do in Zihuatanejo video and where to stay in Zihuatanejo. So that's all coming. Got to get through all the Bali stuff and Jamaica trip before these videos start coming out. But that's all going to be coming. So you'll hopefully before you plan a trip down here can get a little bit more information from us from the videos that we're going to produce about this area. But strong, love Zihua, and I love Troncones even more. But yeah, stay out of Ixtapa, in my opinion. So Sue asks, can you recommend any activities for kids in Zihuatanejo? I can't.
Well, I think that
my kids are grown. My 16-year-old is with me, but she's not a kid anymore.
Well, I think that if you want to get the kids close to the ocean, like you can take them to do like snorkeling and all these like aquatic activities. There's also the wild watching that for a kid is like to see a dinosaur in the water is amazing and so beautiful when the kids experience that connection with nature. And here we have whales during the winter, and I think that is something very special that the kids need to remember about the environment and nature, and that this area is super rich. Like it's like a big nursery of humpback whales.
Humpback whales, yep.
And they have always the moms with the babies, so
Okay.
you can see them learning to jump and eat, and it's very beautiful. So I
Right.
think that is great for the kids to have
Yeah.
connection with nature.
And we went on a kayaking tour here. That'd be appropriate for kids, I think.
Yes.
If they're like probably 6, 7 years older than that. We
Yeah.
did a cave tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the kids, if they're like 10 or 12 or older, they would love to
And if
cave.
they
It's
want to
just-
start surfing,
Yeah.
in Saladita, it's a favorite, like a very safe wave for the kids to learn to surf.
Yeah,
so it could be interesting for kids that are active and like nature and like to
Right.
be outside. I think that it could be
Yeah, okay.
good.
And let's see, I want to, just so people at home are not confused, what place?
Saladita.
Saladita.
Saladita is a surf town north
Yeah.
from Troncones.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of surf. It's a very well-known
Right.
surf little village.
No, so the reason I bring that up is because the first few times you said that, I was like, Sayulita. Oh, Sayulita is a different place in
Yeah.
Mexico that is close to
Nayarit, Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta. Thank you.
Mhm.
Right. So that's what I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. I was like, Sayulita's kind of far away. But
No,
it's
Saladita.
Saladita, not Sayulita. No, you, right? That's
No.
different. Okay. All right. Yeah. And all those activities you could do in Zihua or here in Troncones.
Like there's snorkeling. People go to Ixtapa Island.
Yeah.
So or to Las Gatas.
And you just do that by boat.
And you
just
can go
boat.
by boat,
Yeah.
and you can bring your own mask and the.
Do you,
what's the
can,
name
can
of
you
it.
rent equipment,
You can rent
snorkeling
equipment.
equipment? Because
Yeah.
just kind of when you're traveling, sometimes you
Yeah.
want to pack all that stuff in your suitcase. I don't.
And if you go to the little harbor, or what to call it in a different way, but the little harbor where there's the boats, maybe someone can take you to see the whales.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
So
It's
yeah,
there,
so
yeah, it
either
was
place. Yeah, and I was like, I totally like. I know I just dissed Ixtapa, but I mean, maybe I'll amend that a little bit. If you've got little kids, there are probably a couple resorts in Ixtapa that they didn't work for me personally, but we saw one. It was called Sun something. Remember? Sun something. in
Sun
Ixtapa.
something. They have a pool area for kids.
Yeah, right. They had
And
like
it
a
was
big water slide.
Like the
and
slides, yeah.
kind of almost like a mini water park for kids. And I was thinking, if I had like 3, and I've had kids who were 3, there were 3 and like 2 years apart, but I've had little kids, and I was like, if you've got little kids, probably
it's not a bad idea.
not a bad place,
You
right?
can
So,
leave them there. And
so I
they can
won't
go to
say
the
there's
bar.
no place in Ixtapa. So if you've got little kids, that might be an option if you want them to be a little bit more entertained. I'd rather bring them to the beach and teach them to surf and take walks on the beach and kayak tours, but yeah, that's me.
Mhm.
All right. So, Arthur, how much for a good room with a view there? Okay, I don't know where there is, but let's we'll say there is Zihua and Troncones. So, check me if I'm wrong about this, but my sense is here in Troncones, like right on the beach. The place we're in right now, it's just right on the beach. It's beautiful. It's a 10-room hotel. This runs $300 to $400 a night. I think this is probably one of the more expensive, if not the most expensive hotel in.
It's like in that is the range of the hotels that are like this type of setting.
Yep.
It's like that is like more or less the rate.
Okay. And then the 2 other places I was thinking about where you teach yoga.
Present moment.
Present Moment, the place next door is like those run $250, $275 a night, and that's you're getting your own bungalow on the beach. So that's not a bad option. So if you want to be like on the beach, that's roughly the cost. And remember, it's kind of high season right now. It's February, so we're here. We're here in February. This is live, so you guys know when it is. But this is going to be. We will save this and post it, so people will be watching at other times of the year. So yeah, it's February now. It's high season, so I assume those prices go down a bit in March and April. And then in Zihua, it kind of runs the gamut, but maybe there's a larger question about. Is this a good, how far will your vacation dollar go in this part of Mexico? But I'll answer Zihua, and then maybe we can back up and answer that a little bit. I would say in Zihua, you can get something on the beach for $100 a night. The reason Maria's laughing is we were trying to find a bargain hotel on the beach for $100 a night. There are hotels on the beach for under $100 a night, but boy, do they suck. It was like I cannot
Yeah.
make a video about this. We did find something really charming for under it for like $180. No, it's like $150. It's across the street from the beach, and you have views. So that's good. That's in Zihua, and then there's a hotel we're going to review in Zihua called the Thompson, and those start like $400 a night, $500 a night. So, but that's probably the most expensive hotel in Zihua. So that's more like the luxury realm. So I'd say in Zihua you can probably get something on the beach. You can for a couple $100 a night. That's pretty decent. And if you can get up to 300, then you're going to find something nice in Zihua, and you'll do really well. I think here in Troncones if you've got a budget like that. And then just thinking, I think like part of the question too was not just about this area, but it was like, I guess since I travel around the world, I've got a pretty good view of like, I think Mexico is a relative bargain, especially if you're coming from the US. So if you're coming from the US and Canada, flights are relatively inexpensive. It's pretty easy to get down here. And I would say, yeah, I think hotels are, compared to the Caribbean and compared to a lot of parts of Asia, that Mexico is actually a really good deal for traveling. And I would say in Mexico that this feels like if you compare it to Tulum or Cancun or Cabo, I would say this is the cheapest of those areas.
Yeah,
Does that
from
sound
those
right?
like the tips of the country, like
Mhm.
Cabo and Tulum.
Yeah.
I think that those are the like the most expensive places to stay in Mexico.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to discover in the Pacific area and also in Mexico in the center. There's
Right.
so many other places that people don't know that are like beautiful and that have like a lot to offer.
Okay.
Like this.
And there's this is a really hard one to pronounce. It's somebody whose name starts with H. How's that? That's as far as I'm gonna go. I can't read it. Sorry, we're on a little laptop. I'm traveling, so I don't have my big screen in front of me. Anyway, the question is, and thank you for your question, Mr. H. How do the beaches in Zihuatanejo compare to beaches in other beaches in Mexico? You've been all over Mexico. What do you think?
Yeah. All are different and
Yeah.
all have, it depends of what is your preference
Yeah.
or your weather preference.
Yeah.
I think like in Tulum in the Caribbean side, like the water is way more calm. It's like a pristine lake water,
Yeah.
and you can like do snorkel and. But I told you what I think about Tulum.
Yeah.
For me, it's not that exciting.
I'm going to differ about Tulum, but you keep going.
And because I like the more like power of the Pacific,
Yes.
so I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
more connection with the Pacific.
Right. You're just talking about
So-
the ocean, yeah. Right,
Yeah,
right.
and,
Wait, can you surf? Like, can you surf if you're on the Gulf side of Mexico? Is it decent for surfing or not?
You can find waves, but are like wind waves, and
Yeah.
they are not as clear
Yeah.
as the Pacific. So you can find some, but more or less.
Yep.
And in the Pacific side, there's more option. Like that in the Caribbean side is like this blue water, and in the Baja California, where is Los Cabos and La Paz and all of this Ensenada, that is
Mhm.
very beautiful too. What is beautiful is there is the desert and the ocean, so
Right.
that blend is like a landscape that is very magical and very
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep.
And in the Pacific, it's a little bit more wild in the jungle and the strength of the Pacific Ocean, and it's a little bit more authentic, I feel.
Mhm.
There is than in the other corners, because these are getting in the way to receive more tourism, but the other two, they grow thinking about tourism, and
Right.
and sometimes it take them to other options for people that is different than in this area.
Okay. Yeah, and my 2 cents is, to me, like, so I think, yeah, when I think about like a beach, I guess I think about like taking long walks on the beach.
Mhm.
And Tulum has like some of the like picture postcard beaches, and it's white sand. You can walk for miles. So it's one of the reasons I love Tulum. Plus, there's really cool hotels. There's a few videos about those. Great restaurant scene. And Tulum's all about like staying in the right part of the beach. If you stay in central Tulum, you're not going to sleep. And if
Mhm.
you're there for spring break, great. But if you want to stay in a like quieter place, and go to the south of Tulum. But I think the beaches in Tulum are beautiful. I've been to Sayulita.
It's
which
is different.
yeah,
like
it's okay.
more, yeah.
It's okay. And then
San Pancho, I like more San Pancho than Sayulita.
I don't know where that is.
No, it's like a town north from Sayulita.
Okay.
There is a little bit smaller with
Right.
less crowded, but
Yeah, and the beaches. So, and I don't know if it's the beaches here in terms of walking, they get large stretches. It's not white sand; it's more beigey sand, I guess, but it's still really beautiful. And one of the nice things about being down here in Troncones is you can walk and not see anybody or not see very many people. So it feels like walking on a beach in Australia where you don't see anybody for hours.
Yeah.
All right. Looking for another question. I'm just scrolling down here. Okay, what's the local music scene like in Zihuatanejo? And you can answer, I don't know anything about that.
Well, there's
Zihua
like,
or Trocones or both?
well, I think that there's a lot of artists in this area, like
Yeah.
a lot of singers.
Yeah.
And I think that in March they are actually doing a guitar festival in Siwa.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they do it yearly, but I heard that they are doing this guitar. I think that they do it every year.
Yeah.
So they have this guitar thing scene because there's like two musicians, Rodrigo and Gabriela, that I think that they have an award, like a Grammy award or something like that.
Right, okay.
But they are like very well known and they play guitar and it's like beautiful. But I think that in Mexico, every state have their own thing to offer,
Right.
and there's a song here that the name is, I think that is the dance of the iguana,
Why don't you sing it?
and
Why don't you sing right now?
no, I don't even remember how is the song, but maybe
Oh.
people can look on YouTube or they can look on Spotify.
We're on YouTube right now.
But-
Come on.
No,
sing.
but the most important part of that is the dancing.
Oh, dance.
No, I don't think that I can do that, but yeah. But it's there's some expressions of music in the area. I think
Okay.
that guitar is the most important one.
Yeah.
And also Paracho, that is close to here, like maybe 2 hours away. It's a place where it's in Michoacan, but they make guitars and it's very famous.
Okay.
So the guitar, I think that is one of the things that is very important here in the area of Zihuatanejo, or at least that is my impression. Maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong, but that is what I have seen.
Cool. And what is this? Is it Natalie? It says I'm Natalia.
Natalia,
Sorry, I thought you were saying I'm in. Like, ignore me. Ignore this guy. Okay. I think we only have time for one more question. What are the best options for shopping in Zihuatanejo? We'll talk about Zihuatanejo and Trocones. In terms
In
of
between both of them.
Whatever you want. I'll add in a bit because that's one of the things we did was
Mhm.
looking for some shopping in both places, and I'll give you my 2 cents, but you go first.
I think that in Zihuatanejo, because it's a town that receives way more people than in Troncones, the things that they offer are more like less special, and they
Yeah.
are a lot more for a big amount
Right.
to help, like to be able to offer more
Yeah.
products to many people. So it's not that special or curated, you say?
Yeah, curated.
Something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And
Just
so
like
if
this channel is curated hotels.
if you
Oh,
want
sorry.
to do that in Siwa, I recommend to go to enter in the little shops
Yeah.
and to explore where they can find like more special
Right.
pieces of Mexican art or culture. And here in
I'm sorry to
Troncones,
interrupt. That will be covered in our What to Do in Zihuatanejo video,
Mhm.
and it will be our What to Do in Troncones video.
Troncones, yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
And here in Troncones, I think that because it's a small town, people try to look for more special things to offer for the amount of
Yeah.
people that is here. So
Yeah.
you can have, like, there's the boutique that we just visit. We say the name now or
Yeah,
then after.
sure.
It's Casa Croma. There is a very beautiful store that is fair trade and look
Right.
to give name to the artist, and it's a very good
Totally,
option.
right. So they basically get all the handcrafted, and it is really like curated is the word you use, and I think that was perfect because the owner has done such a great job of like bringing like these beautiful pieces together, and it's all made by locals, fair
Yeah.
trade. So that's really awesome, and it's kind of one of the things I'm finding about Troncones is it's like just like the little boutiques and shops like that. We visited a surf shop. They handmade boards there and things like that. So
yeah, and also like the boutique of present moment, they have more yoga stuff, like other type of stuff, or even the store that is here in Los Sereno.
Yeah.
It's like they do like special little offers for the special people that come to Troncons.
Right. All right. Well, it is 2:30, and the sun, that's west behind us, and the sun is coming down and it's shining on us. And it was hot when we started, and now it is super hot. I'm about to catch on fire. I'll give you guys a quick view. I don't know. It's a little bit blown out behind us, but it's a little bit better, right? A little pool area and the bar behind us. A lovely place. I'm ready for a swim. But is there some? Yeah, sorry. There's a few more questions, but we wanted to keep this to a half hour. Thank you. Thanks everyone who emailed questions. Thanks for folks who participated in the chat and sent us some great questions. There's going to be a lot more coming out about this whole area, so we're looking forward to producing. I think some really interesting videos because you've been great and Rodrigo has been great. So we've got a couple locals here who are going to show us, help me show you guys kind of the cool things to do in this area and the cool places to stay. So thank you all for joining. Say bye, Maria.
Hasta luego.
Okay, bye. Thank you all.